microphone. Now can you hear me? Oh my gosh, now you can hear me. I was just telling you about how I spilled egg down my front. My hair's still a little bit wet. I couldn't get the light right and my intro has disappeared. But apart from that, we're all good. So welcome to the Truly Myrtle podcast. We go out live every single Thursday, come rain, shine, or technical difficulties, and onto Facebook and YouTube. Why can't I see YouTube? This is going to be my other problem today. Hang on. Let me get rid of this. See if I can see YouTube. I'll just click something. Give me a thumbs up while you're waiting if you like. I don't know why YouTube hasn't happened. Oh no, you're definitely there. I can see you there. Yay. Leave me a comment. Alrighty. I thought I'd call you from a different part of my little shed today. You've still got no sound? Look great in my new sweater. Oh, thank you, Yona. Tell me, can you hear me first of all? Cynthia said she's got no sound. Oh, you can. Good. Excellent. You're watching from YouTube. I don't know what's happened to Facebook. They're supposed to be here. I can see people are watching from Facebook, but I can't see any comments. Oh, good. That's excellent. YouTube is all good. Shall I tell you what I'm wearing? Complete with egg down my front. I was just scoffing some breakfast and I just spilt some down the front. So I've tried to wipe it off, but you know, it must be warm. It's beautiful. It's beautiful up here. But don't forget, Barbara, I'm feeling warm a lot of the time now. So it could also be me. It's really, really crisp outside. And yesterday morning when I went for a walk, we're slightly elevated where we are. And when I went for a walk down, it was frost everywhere. So it's one of those end of winter, spring is coming, but it's still a bit frosty weather. I am wearing Noah, and she is our new knit for wardrobe toolbox. She came out this month, August. She came out in August. And so everybody's knitting her Noah. I love it. I'll show you her. Okay, I can stand up here. She's like a little t-shirt top, and she has these lines, look, down the side that go up the raglans on the front and the back. And I've given her some nice shaped S shapes to her raglan, that side. You can see she's lovely, and I've given her slightly fuller sleeves. You can't see any mess on it. Oh good. It's right there. I'll just cover it up. I used this beautiful yarn called papyrus, which is a cotton. It's mostly cotton, but it's got silk in it, and I think it's got like the Borette silk. I think it's not that uber shiny silk. It's that lovely raw silk. So the feel of this is just delicious. It definitely is cottony, but it has another element to it which the silk brings, and it falls so well. And it does not cling, which I love. So anyway, she was our new top. I added the stitching detail on later, because the thing about raglans is that they, from top down, especially in something like with a heap of cotton, it would just collapse on me, and it would go from being quite a nice little put together piece to a slob out kind of piece over time. So I decided to add, oops, I want to shake you. I decided to add the stitching detail all the way down. You don't have to in the pattern, but I think it gives it back some of the shape that we lose with the cotton and the silk. Anyway, it's not available for everybody at the moment. It's available to my lovely wardrobe toolboxes, and so sometime next year around this time, everybody else will be able to get hold of it, unless you join Wardrobe Toolbox in October, and then you'll be able to get it early at a fantastic discount. That if you come later into Wardrobe Toolbox, you get access to all of the patterns, the old patterns, for at least 30% off. They're always on sale. You don't need a code or anything. That's just how they are in there. And but you will get new patterns when you come. So when you arrive in October, if you decide to join, you will immediately get a brand new pattern that I'm working on now that everybody's going to get, and you'll get a top called the Easy Breezy, which is a little pink top I've got. And so you'll get that straight away when you come in, but the other ones, yeah. Okay, you can see I'm in a different spot. I'm in my sewing corner. I will show you around. I'll just turn my camera a little bit so you can see. Look, next to me, I've got the microphone. This is the ironing board that I recovered recently, and I have on it, you know how I told you I had the piles of yarn? I'll move the microphone so you can see. There's some piles of yarn that I've made. Oh, there's some real beauties in there. and they go back and back. I've got look, some of this beautiful shibui. I know you can't get shibui, but I'm really keen to give you things where you're diving into your stash and holding things together. So I've got some of those back there. I've got some lovely bombed yarn stuff here with actually this, oh, drop one. This, I thought shibui held together would be really lovely. And then I've got, I'm just rolling yarn all over the show. I've got this, which I really I've had for a long time, and I really like it. It's Turned from Quince & Co. And it's a fingering yarn / sort of sporty kind of yarn. It's wool and silk. And I want a little cute cardi out of this. I think it would be lovely. So I've just pulled it out to remind myself. And these three, which I never thought I would put together, I'm thinking a shawl of some sort with those three. So I've got some Mrs. Peacock's yarns. She's a New Zealand dyer. And I've got this one, which is Rachie Knits. This is also a New Zealand dyer. And then this one, which is Rosabella Kid Mohair, Fine Merino and Cotton. This is from Australia. And look, my idea is that you will substitute stuff. So I just thought those three together might be quite wild. Real red. Can you see my colours have changed again? I'm moving more into those reds. Oh my gosh. Anyway, over here, so we've got this is the ironing board that I recovered. I showed you that. Out there, that's where the stairs are. We might see them. I've got my sewing machines in the corner, and you can see I've got, that's a Janome overlocker that I got probably about 12 years ago, and my Janome machine, that's one I got at John Lewis. And then Mr. Myrtle has kindly put me up some shelves above, and I keep all my bits and pieces up there. Look at the top there. Those are up there, right up there. My niece, when she went to the UK, she's an avid sewer. In fact, she's about to start a degree doing costume design and things in the UK. She's amazing, amazingly creative. And so she left all this old cotton. Those are full of old cottons. I probably won't be able to use them, but anyway, they're all stuck up there. And I've got all my beautiful old tins. You can't really see them in focus, but I've got all my old tins that I collected in the UK when the biscuit tins, you know, they come out with different tins, shortbreads and biscuits. So I've got all those lovely tins. So that's there. And then behind me, I don't want to tip you off my stool. It's really tricky. I've got a board which did have lots of things on it, and I've taken them all off because I just thought I'll start fresh again with some new inspiration. So I've just got some postcards, and I've got a little duck. I found that the other day, and I embroidered that when my brother was born when I was 14, and so I thought, oh, I might put that in a frame, give that to one of my kids. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go with some inspiration up there. Here, this is the industrial sewing machine. I don't really know what to do with it just at the moment. I had a look the other day of what I'm supposed to do. I found some YouTube videos, and I started playing around with it, and I think I need fresh oil. I'm going to clean it out. The band is a little bit old, and I'm wondering if I need to get a new band. And this pedal down here is not working to make the foot go up and down, but I've discovered that there is a industrial sewing machine people not far from me, so I'm going to call them and see if I can come and talk to them, or they can give me some advice. So that's sort of where that is over there. I'm on a wheelie chair, which makes the world of difference when you're sewing, as we all know, because you can scoot all over the place. And then on this side, what have I got over here? I've got a pile of things I'm going to show you here that I've pulled out. I've got my dress form, and you can see our carport with a bit of guttering. It's really attractive out that window. And then I've got cottons and bits and pieces, and a sewing kit that my very first boyfriend's mother gave me. Oh my gosh, I was 18. So she might have given it to me for my 18th birthday. And that's full of all sorts of goodies. My radio, which I can't live without. And then I've got this big table, which is an old door. All my stuff is secondhand, all my tables, everything. They're all from my parents. So I've got a big old door, and on that I've got my yarn spinning stuff. Behind those curtains is fabric. It's all fabric. They're not really curtains. I've just pinned them up with safety pins. And my idea is that, well, I think I'll try and get new storage for the fabric, but it's full behind there, full of fabric. And then over there in that corner, there's a filing cabinet that's full of patterns. So that is my sewing corner. I thought I would show you. It's a really, it's quite spacious. It's probably, because this area I'm in is 2 garages, so it's a double garage. And so I've got my podcasting where I do my, my calls and everything is over there. I sit at my desk over there with my computer and all my books behind me. And then if you ever order a pattern from me, I have a little station over there where I pack those up. And then this is sort of half a garage, I guess, this side. So it's good. And I've got a big mirror. Look, I've got a big old, then you can see there. I don't know what we can see in that mirror, but there we go. There's a big old mirror in a wardrobe that is my mum and dad's old wardrobe sitting in here. So that, I thought it would be fun to show you over this side. And then I've got a few things to show you, including a package that I've got to open. Let's have a little look at your comments and I can have a sip of my tea. It must be warm. Yes, it's definitely warm. You're on the couch drinking coffee and knitting. Life is good. It does feel like that today, doesn't it, Jean? I think I know I am. I'm solar powered. When the sun comes out, I suddenly become full of energy. It's really good. And so winter can get a bit dreary, can't it? But and Margaret's saying it's dreary in Sydney. We need that sunshine back, don't we, Margaret? You can't see any mess. That's good on my top. Barbara says the frost we had here this morning is the hardest for this winter. I think we're in that interesting time of year where I guess it's happening in the Northern Hemisphere too, where you feel like you're moving into the next season. You can feel a whisper of it, but then the old season reminds you, I haven't gone yet. I'm still here. Chile. Now someone left a comment I wanted to read. It's far too cold for Claire to wear her new Noah top. Oh, good. Maureen's just finished watering. That's good in a garden. Now, Andrea's saying she made Nula in this, and it's pilling quite badly. That's interesting, Andrea, because the thing about this one, which I was so impressed with, was I redid this top part quite a few times, and so I ended up ripping, and then re-knitting, and it just came back like new. And I didn't notice any pilling. I will see what happens over time. I wonder if it's the gauge. I did a reasonably dense gauge. It's not dense, but it's not an open gauge. And sometimes the gauge can really help to keep things together. So I will see how she goes over time. But so far, I have thought, whoa, this is actually really handles wear quite well. So I'll be really interesting to see how that goes. Sarah said, my friend has an industrial machine. It goes scarily fast. Yes, I'm slightly nervous about that, going super fast. And Tamsin's saying, definitely get it serviced before using it. Yes, I think I will speak to the people who are really just, I think they're just not far in my neighborhood. And so they apparently, I found them online, they service industrial machines. So I'll talk to them about it and maybe they can give me the oil and come and have a little look, or I might pop in and see them. I won't take that with me, obviously. You can't do that. I know, it's really fun. It's great setup. Yeah, I really love it. I mean, it could be prettier. It definitely could be prettier. It's very useful. I have a very useful space. And the thing I love about this space is I have all of these windows. I have windows on all 3 of my walls are windows, and one wall is just a huge ranch slider and windows, and then I have windows back, and so it's very, very light. I love the light, and also it's not inside my house, and so I can come to work. I don't have to work inside. I can actually leave and come out here. Otherwise, I never get to leave work when it's inside. I don't really anyway. I seem to be working all the time because I'm always knitting or doing something, but I have a physical distance from it, which actually really works for me better now. Rachel said, I'm yet to figure out how to use my industrial machine. The instructions are minimal and in small print. Yeah, Rachel, I had a look online. I might get Mr. Myrtle onto it because he's a bit of a demon at this, at finding old instruction books online. So have a look online. If you put your machine in, usually you can find a download which is the instruction book for you. You can do it for all sorts of things. I didn't know that till he told me that, for various things we've got, especially stuff like appliances around the house. If you don't know how to work something like your oven or fridge or something, you might need to work your fridge if you're replacing water bottles or something, gas bottles. But you can download the instructions. So have a little look, because I think I found mine, but I'm going to get him to have a look because I couldn't work out how I'm supposed to get hold of it once I found it. But yeah, then you might be able to read it. Tracy said, I just found my sewing room this morning. You just found it. It's just appeared in your house. You love the light. Yeah, it's lovely. It's a really nice light. And it gets very, very hot though. Extraordinarily hot. I don't really get that cold in here in the winter. I've only had to turn on the heating 3 times because when I had it all lined, and then I replaced the windows. They were crappy old windows and 2 garage doors at the front. And so I got double glazed when I put the windows in. And so, but it hasn't really got stuff or insulation. A little bit they put in behind the plyboard that they put up. But so I don't get terrifically cold, but I get boiling hot. And I have got a fan, but it's so noisy that I can hardly hear myself think. So I'm thinking that maybe up on that wall, up there, above that window, just there, I might get a heat pump. And then in the summer, because where I'm solared, right? I'm solared up to the max. So I could, when the sun is shining, the solar power will run my heat pump. And then it will keep me cold in here. So that could be how I survive the summer, because I have found it really, really very, very hot in the summer. Okay, let me show you some stuff. I'll just have a sip of my tea. And then I'm going to show you, look, I've retrieved my chair back from inside. Someone stole my chair. I actually had a slightly smaller chair. I could swap it. It was pretty. It was pink. And one of the girls pinched it, but then I discovered they'd ditched this one. So I pinched this one. Okay, but I can wheel around. I've got a pile of things I wanted to show you. So the first thing I wanted to show you was I actually just got a parcel in the mail this morning. And so I thought I'll open it and show you. I had this idea for a shawl because I remembered I've been thinking about things we can do as a group and knitting together. And we're going to do Socktober, which I'm looking forward to that. And I'm getting all ready for that. And I've got lots of resources and things for you. And I was thinking it would be nice to do something at another time of the year too. So I was thinking about other things I could do for you. And I get quite a few questions about how to wear shawls, which kind of sparked me off. And I remembered, I just had this flash of memory of when I started wearing, this sounds so ridiculous, but this is the true story. I never used to wear accessories. I couldn't wear earrings. I felt like I was wearing Christmas trees. I didn't accessorize. I was sort of a really simple dresser. I grew up, I guess I was in my 20s in the 90s. My hair was too curly and too big. Everything was sleek, and it was all the sort of era of Kate Moss and Posh Spice. It was that sort of era, right? And I didn't really fit. I was loud and I was happy and I was just, a bit colourful. And so the 90s were kind of strange. And I didn't accessorize. I just didn't really do it at all, ever. So when I had my bunch of babies, and then I was just like neck deep in having babies. I was 150% into having the babies, and I had 4 of them. And so that was my whole life. And I did a bit of sewing. I did a heap of knitting and sewing for them. I didn't really do much for myself. I was, pregnant, not pregnant, pregnant, not pregnant, breastfeeding, pregnant. I breastfed for 13 years straight I didn't have a break. And because I was pregnant and breastfeeding, and baby came and kept breastfeeding. And so my whole wardrobe was just dictated by that, right? I had to have easy access into my tops, and I would buy things at op shops, and I didn't really make a lot of clothes for myself. I remember we were in the UK, and I'd buy things to wear at Sainsbury's because they were cheap, and it didn't matter if the neck got stretched out or food got all over the front. I kind of lived like that for a long time. And then after I had my last baby, in about 2010, well, she was born in 2010, not about, I just had this, I think it was the year later, I'd had a trip back to New Zealand when she turned 1. And I think, from memory, this is when it happened. And I saw a program on TV in New Zealand, and it was the program with that obstetrician woman. Someone can remind me of the name. Nina Proudman is the doctor. She was in this show. I've forgotten what it was called. I can never remember the name of that show. Anyway, Nina Proudman. And I watched Nina Proudman. It was early days of iPhones, and she had an iPhone, and she had this ring that everybody, you heard the ring and it was just like her thing. Anyway, she wore all these clothes because I was always interested in clothes, and I was always interested in making things. But she wore layers of things. She wore sort of tunics, so with thick trousers underneath, and then a funky belt, and then a waistcoat, and then a shawl, and a big bag slopped over her shoulder. I absolutely loved it. Offspring. I think that's what it was called, Sarah. Offspring. I just saw that and thought, oh my goodness, that is how I want to dress. That is me. I see myself in those clothes. And I went back to the UK because we were only here for a holiday. And we went back to the UK, and there was a shop in the UK called TK Maxx. And the thing I loved about the UK was you could go into a shop, especially TK Maxx, you could put a whole lot of stuff in. It was sort of ex-designer stuff, a lot of old designer or end of line kind of clothes. It's probably still there. I haven't been there for 10 years. And I remember going in there, I just had this vision, right, that I'm just going to pretend that I am already that person. That's what I thought. I'm going to just do this. And I can remember filling up my cart with things, taking them home, trying them on. And of course, I wasn't long post-baby, so my body changed after that. And I'd try them on, and I'd keep some, and then I'd take the rest back. And I didn't have to try them on in the shop at all. I was so good. I loved that. And I've still got some of those clothes. And I bought little layers of things and sequins of things and fun stuff like that. You have TK Maxx, Tracy. And I just started doing this. I didn't start that straight away, but I was kind of inching towards that. But what I did do that summer, so my daughter must have turned 1 early in the spring, in the UK spring. And then I can remember towards the end of the summer going to the park with a bunch of other families, and they were playing rounders. And I can remember she was in my lap, sitting in my lap. So she must have been feeding or something, and she was basically on me. I can remember sitting there with her on me. And before we left, I thought, I'm going to just try this. I'm just going to experiment. I went totally out of my comfort zone. And I had bought this long, skinny, slinky, like summery scarf. I was knitting, but never for myself at this point. Or maybe I was making cardigans. I can't remember the timeline properly. But anyway, I bought this long, skinny scarf with, like slinky. And I put it, I had on, trying to think what I had on. I think I had on some sort of black thing. And I put this scarf around my neck, like wound it round so it dangled down the front. That was the extent of my Nina Proudman experiments. You'll have to look her up online if you haven't found it. There's pictures all over Nina Proudman. That was it. I did that. I put this scarf like that around my neck. And I went along to this event, this picnic thing. It was really relaxed. And I thought everybody was staring at my neck. I felt so self-conscious. I could not believe how self-conscious I felt. And I sat there all afternoon thinking, oh my gosh, I've got this freaking scarf around my neck. I'm just wearing this scarf around my neck. And then I realized that actually no one was really noticing the scarf around my neck. And like the sky didn't fall, henny penny. The sky did not fall. I couldn't believe it. And that really just started me off. I think that was a life-changing moment for me because I started getting more of these little things and I put things around my neck. And then I tried earrings, and I tried bigger earrings. And then I had already wore bangles, but I didn't have big bangles. I just had little bangles. And I tried rings, big rings, and things just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Bigger sunglasses, bigger earrings, bigger everything. And before I knew it, I had this pile of shawls by my back door because, of course, then autumn came. And I had all these scarves and things like that over my door, by my back door. We had this big row of hooks. And I didn't feel like I was dressed until I grabbed one and threw it around my neck, and off I went. It changed my life. It literally changed my life. And then all of a sudden, everything started falling into place. And I think I must have known about Ravelry because I knew about it when she was just a tiny little baby in a sling. And I knew that people were knitting, but nobody was knitting shawls just then. I think that's when the shawl thing started. And so I started thinking about making things for myself to wear like accessories. I don't think people were really doing it much before that. Anyway, that's how it all started. And I started with this skinny little scarf. It's a long story. Yeah, Ashley Kedder. That's who she is, Becky. She's the actress. Ashley Kedder. She was Nina Proudman. It's such a good show. I really enjoyed it. She had a few lovers through that show, on and off, didn't she? Different doctors and things in the show. And there was one who was particularly gorgeous. There were others I didn't think were so gorgeous, but there was one. He was big, dark, tall. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. So it just made it even nicer to watch the show. Anyway, it's worth watching if you haven't seen it. But I was thinking about this long, skinny thing and how it was like my gateway into wearing accessories, into wearing shawls, into making things for myself, into dressing like how I wanted to feel, to layering clothes, and just, being braver outside my comfort zone about how I wanted to dress. And I also thought, actually, it's funny because of my patterns that I've got, Antipodes, which is a long, skinny shawl, that is a really good one for people to start with. And I found over the years, when I've been at shows and people have come up and saying to me, oh, I'm really not a shawl person, they say. And I think, everybody can be a shawl person. And I say, try this one, because it's not really a shawl, because shawls got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden you're knitting a whole garment's worth of yarn in a shawl. But before that, shawls were smaller. And Antipodes, it's really long and skinny, so you can wrap her twice around your neck, and it's just little. She just is this little thing. And so I say to them, it's a bit like a necklace. You can wear her like a piece of jewelry. You don't have to think of it like, I'm wearing a shawl. Like, that the images that conjures can be pretty off-putting, I think, for some people. Anyway, she's a good starting point. And I thought, okay, let's do a shawl for the people that either want something lightweight to feel a little bit Nina Proudman and just to dress up and they just throw something on. Or for people as well, for people who are just experimenting with just getting their dip their toes into the whole world of shawls. And so it made me think, we need to do something around this. Anyway, I thought I'll start with yarn. And I looked through my stash and I thought, I can't really see anything that is exactly what I want, and this might still not be, but I thought I'll try this. This is what I thought I'll try. So I bought a couple of balls of, let me show you, these. I bought these because I thought it'd be nice to have something kind of coloured. So I bought these two colours, and these are Isia Trio 1, and they're linen cotton lyocell. Because originally I was thinking it'd be nice to have a like a linen silk. That's what I would like. And I found a linen silk. It was from Canada, but I thought, and they wouldn't post to New Zealand, and I thought it's a Canadian made. It does look beautiful. If anyone's in Canada, that you might really enjoy it. It was from somewhere, I can't remember what it was called, Wonder Wool or something like that. Anyway, this beautiful linen silk, and I thought that would be nice. Lace weight. I want a lace weight. And but I couldn't get it here, and I thought, if I want to do something that everybody can get hold of, then I need to use something that everyone can get hold of. So I bought these, Trio 1, and this has got the linen. It has also got a little bit of cotton, 30% cotton, 50% linen, 30% cotton, 20% lyocell. So the lyocell is our poor man's cotton, our poor man's silk, right? This is what we're going to do instead. It's eucalyptus base, regenerated fiber, and it will give us, it feels like string right now, but it will give us a little bit of the sheen, the drape, and everything that we're after on a lightweight, just mid, in between season or even into the summer kind of, I'm just going to jazz up this outfit by throwing something around my neck kind of shawl. So I got these two because it's really hard to choose online, isn't it, colours? And so it would be really nice. I should have a look in real life if I can see these in real life. But I thought I'd swatch them and then think about, actually I'm quite happy with these. These would be quite pretty, I think, as a kind of a summerish feel to them. So lace weight, long and skinny, something a little bit different. That's what I thought is my plan when I came to that, because of the summer in the park, was what I was thinking. What are you saying here? You're definitely sure. I'm to go back and have a little look at your comments. Barbara says, thanks to me, she's got a wonderful selection of shawls and she wears one on a rotational basis. Yeah, she wears them all. Yes, I think so. It opened my world. It totally opened my world. And then when I could make them, and I could choose the colors and I could choose the shape and I could choose everything about them, it transformed, it really transformed my life. It really did, I think. Shawls transformed my life. It was so good. Amanda said, I haven't knitted that one, Antipodes, but you've knitted Flicker and Bejeweled, which are the same shape. Yes, Bejeweled's shorter. It gets fatter and it's shorter, but they are the same. So you go end to end, and Antipodes is very similar. I wanted something else that was long, 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 long and skinny. So those are two that I would recommend those. If you think, I think I'd like to try a shawl, and I'm not really know if I want to, firstly go and look and see if you like the look of what Nina Proudman wears. And if you do, you can think, oh yeah, maybe I could embrace a little bit of layering. And then have a look at Antipodes and Flicker. I think the thing about Flicker is, and the thing about Antipodes is, don't be tricked by the color, because I can actually see Flicker down there. Shall I just grab it and I'll show you? I want to show you what it looks like. All right, I've got it here. It was in my box of tricks. I'm getting ready to go to Cairns, so I'm getting everything ready. This is Flicker. Now, Flicker, don't be tricked by the color. She's yellow. She's bright, bright yellow. But you don't have to make yours yellow. You could make yours another color. I wear her like this. I put her over the back and then wind it round and then wind it round. Okay, like that. So she is not too long. You could do it so that it's actually even on both sides, if that was good. And then she's like this little layer around your neck. Now she's got these fabulous big holes, but you could imagine her, and this is a silk merino, so you could imagine her in the color that you love. And I think, hang on, let me show you on the side. See, she's got that fabulous border here. So she's quite striking, but she is like a piece of jewelry around your neck. And so when you put her on, you've both a tiny bit warm, and also you feel, oh, I just feel like I'm dressed, and there I am ready to go into the world. So yes, someone's saying I wear jeans and shirts and nice t-shirts a lot, and when I'm teaching piano lessons I'll put a shawl on or a scarf, and I feel like I'm a little bit more to put together and teacherish. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they do. They just give you a lift to your outfit, right? And then you feel good. Rachel says, I love shawls and scarves and they're a great accessory. I think that is you, isn't it, Rachel? And Jess says, I'm definitely a shawl person. It's always my happy place with knitting and knitwear. Yeah. Christine said, they were talking about buying yarn online. She said she chose yarn for this top I'm wearing, Noah. And unfortunately, she sent it back because it was a different color from what I'm buying. It can be really hard. If you can get hold of color cards, that can be really helpful, because then you can actually see them in real life. But it is tricky, isn't it, buying them online? We've actually got a lesson inside Wardrobe Toolbox where I talk about buying yarn online and give you some of my tips about that that's in Wardrobe Toolbox. Amanda said, I knitted it in a gorgeous duck egg blue and gifted it to Mum a couple of years ago. You must knit one for yourself. Yeah. Oh, it's Kayla, Happy Crafter. Sorry, Kayla. I get confused sometimes with your names, what you're all called. Anyway, Bejeweled. So these are the gateway. They're the gateway. Now, I was thinking of doing something slightly different in terms of construction with this, but at this stage, this is what it looks like. And I'm thinking at the moment, because I have to work in advance, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to work like close to my deadlines like I do often. I'm thinking April. And so we'll hold that thought and we'll come back to it in April. All right, let me show you what else I've got in my pile. I feel like my hair's dried funny now because it was a bit wet when I started. Here we go. It's nice to see all your comments. Okay, so I went through my patterns and I've fished out fabric because I'm just fancying some more sort of summery clothes. You know how you go through a phase where you feel like you've got lots of clothes and then you feel like you've got no clothes. I'm at that phase where I think, I feel like I've got no clothes. I think I had a clear out and I've outgrown that, or that doesn't fit me, or that's not my style anymore. And I had a big sort out, and all of a sudden here I am coming into summer with no clothes. So that's what it feels like. So I need to make some more things. Anyway, I've also feel like I should make something for Mr. Myrtle, and I have got these shorts, which I have made for him before. And they are fantastic shorts, and they are really lovely finish. And I did them in a French navy linen with a bit of tartan inside the pocket. So the pocket lining is like this nice tartan, and they look really good. However, when I was measuring him up for them, I went I think I need a bigger size, because I made a size that fitted them nicely. They do fit them nicely, but they're a bit kind of formal because they don't have a lot of bag to them. So they're not really wearing in the weekend kind of shorts. They're a little bit smarter. They're a bit more fitted. And I want to make him some that look baggier, that are kind of sloppy kind of shorts. So I found this nice navy blue, which is actually reasonably close to what it is actually. That's a good look on the screen. So I found some navy blue linen. It's all washed, and I thought I might just try and make him a pair of shorts and surprise him. It's nearly his birthday. Maybe I'll do that and surprise him again with a pair of shorts for his birthday. I've also got some other fabric, and I've been trying to debate what to make with these. I just fancy some shirts. I love shirts and little summery tops, but I particularly love shirts. And I bought a couple of patterns recently that I like. There's that one. I haven't got the name on it. I think it's called the Joni one. What I do is I keep my patterns in these envelopes, and I print out, there it is, the Joni top. I print out the instructions, and then I get the pattern printed onto A0. And actually, that big wardrobe that I showed you, at the bottom, there is a drawer, big, long drawer. And what I've done is I've rolled up, this is a massive sort out, I rolled up my sewing patterns that were still in there, A0. I hadn't cut them out, because I try and trace them. And so I rolled them all up, and then I've been collecting loo rolls, and so I've just slid them all into a loo roll, and then I've written on the loo roll what they're called. I should have got one out to show you. So her matching pattern is still in there waiting for me to trace it, and I'll trace it onto some paper, and then I'll put the pattern pieces into here so that I can come back to them later. But I like that little shirt. I thought that's quite a nice little shirt. I'm not 100% sure about the back, though. It's got, see, it's more kind of cowboyish like that at the back. I'm not sure if I like that. I'm thinking I would quite like to cut that as one piece and just have a little gather in the back. But yeah, so that was one idea. I could make that shirt. And the other shirt I've got is this one, which is the Morningside dress and shirt. I actually really like this one with the frilly sleeves, but they don't have a full, oh, okay, there we go. It doesn't have a button placket that goes all the way down. It's like a placket. I quite like that, but I think I need something a bit drapey for that one. Here it is here, inside. So you can see the pattern details. That's more of what I wanted at the back. And even a slight gather would be nice, even rather than a pleat. Just kind of gather it is what I'm thinking. But I've got those couple of patterns as ideas, which I've got both of. I don't think I've had this one printed out yet in my big A0. And I fished out some fabric. And I found this fabric, which is quite yellow. I'm not 100% sure about it. I don't know if it's really my yellow. I do yellow, but this is quite dirty yellow. And I think it might, I don't know, might make me look a little bit sallow. But it could be okay with something navy underneath. And when I get a bit more of a tan, it might look a bit better. But it's a nice little cotton. So I thought, oh, maybe I could do that little Joni shirt out of that. Or, I don't know, one of those. I put that to one side. And then I also found this fabric. Now this fabric is really, really, really old. I inherited it from somewhere, and it was an pale ice blue. Totally, I can't wear those colors at all. Totally pale, but it's got that lovely pattern on it. You know, those, see how it's got the little printing on it? I love that. So I had to go at dyeing it, which was a little bit of a palaver, if I'm honest. I didn't really want to put it in the machine because I just thought, we've got a front loader, and it, you know, you have to get in there and make sure it hasn't stained all the rubber but seals. I dyed it, but it's come out a bit lighter than I like. I mean, it might be okay, but it just feels a bit boring. I'm not sure if it's a bit of a boring blue. So I'll have a think about it. I might play around with it and see if I think I like it. I mean, I think I could wear it, but otherwise I just might want it slightly more royal, you know, a little bit brighter would be nice. I don't know. You do see the patterning quite well in it with that blue. So I'm undecided about that. But I thought that could be quite good for another one of those shirts. Just a nice little shirt with some fun buttons. Might be quite good. And then finally, I've got this pattern, which I've had forever, the matcha top. And that is another Sew Liberated pattern. It's an older one of hers. That, I'll show you. It's got a couple of versions in it. She's used quite a nice little iCat cotton by the look of it. I don't think it's got a picture. I don't think I've got a picture of that schematic, which is a shame. Have I? No. That's as good as it gets. So I've got that, but it also comes sleeveless in here, so you can do it with the sleeves or without, and it's got that little stand-up collar, and I think I would wear that, and I might like it with no sleeves. And I've got this, which I thought was so pretty, and I thought that could work really well in that as that little matcha top, just with a little collar, maybe no sleeves. It might be quite a lot of it if I had the sleeve. It's quite a lot of patterning. So if I had a little no sleeve thing with gather, that might be quite nice in the summer. Oh, you love that blue fabric on me. Yeah, I think I can wear it. It's just not quite as bright as I was thinking. I was thinking, oh, let's go like a really clear, slightly more azure blue is what I was thinking. So anyway, I have a feel around. Think about it. But this is, I thought, is so pretty. I just got this at Spotlight, I think. And I thought this is kind of close to that iCat fabric that she's talking about. So it might work quite nicely as a little top. Does that go with the 2-ply I just got? Look, I think we might be seeing me in colour. I definitely move through colour seasons, and I seem to have quite a lot of pinks and reds and stuff like that. Oh, thank you. You think the blue suits me? Oh, well, maybe I should just do it then. And Barbara's saying the yellow might be better away from my face. Yeah, I think the yellow is... I really love it, but I'm not sure. It doesn't really love me. And so, I don't know. I think I can't decide. I really do love it, but I think it's too sallow for me. And what else are you saying? The blue suit, like the floral. Yeah, I like the floral too. So those are my ideas. Those are my sewing ideas. And I thought I'll just tackle them one at a time, just bit by bit, and to get through them all, because I have lots of ideas. And when the sun is shining and the warmer weather's coming, I can come out here in the evening if it's lighter and do a bit of sewing. I thought that might be quite nice. I've got other bits and pieces over there on my sewing table, and I've still got that other bag I'd like to make. But I thought I'll start simple. I could make those shorts. I've made them before. It's always nice, I think. I haven't sewed for a while. So it'd be nice to go back to something that I've done before first and just like, oh yeah, get my sewing legs back. And then I never used to feel like this. This must be a thing that I feel as I get older. I'm not as fearless as I used to be, I think. I quite like doing things that I already know. Again, it's quite a nice way to start with these things. The yellow would be a nice skirt or pants. Yeah, actually it could be a really nice summer skirt, couldn't it, with some pockets at the side, and just I could then wear navy at the top. That might work for me better actually. So maybe I could do that. I'll see how much I've got of it and if I could fit that in. Anyway, it's been so nice to chat to you from my sewing corner and showing you all my bits and pieces, and hopefully you've got some knitting done while you're here. If you fancy giving me a thumbs up, I can see the thumbs up. If you fancy giving me a thumbs up, I can even see love hearts there, which is nice. I think those must be the Facebook love hearts. That would be really nice. And I will come back and see you next week, but I'm going to be over there again next week. I'll be over there doing my knitting. I'm trying to think what else is happening at the moment. We've had a few new patterns out lately, haven't we? We've had Rita, then we've had Love Bug socks, and then we had the Maya hat out. Have a little bit of a breather for a couple of weeks, but I have got a new shawl coming for you. If you're feeling the itch for a shawl, she's quite a big shawl. I've got a shawl coming for you in September in a couple of weeks. So in the meantime, clear your needles, get yourself ready. We will be knitting some shawls. And then, of course, I've got a jumper and things coming for you. Lynn said she would love to have all my crafts in one room. Yeah, well, my spinning wheel's inside. And I do a lot of knitting inside. A lot of knitting inside on my sofa. So I have kind of got myself set up there with my basket. I've got a big fabric basket full of projects and bags, and I've got my little light. And I've got a proper light now, so I can see properly what I'm working on. And I have my place on the couch, my place. Nobody sits there but me, and I have to every now and then boof up the cushion because it just gets a hollow in it where I sit doing my knitting. So I definitely have a space in the evening where I sit, and in the day we have another space that's quite sunny, and I often will sit there and do a bit of knitting as well if I get a chance to go and do some in the day. You've done some knitting as I chatted. Excellent, Maureen. That's good. Oh, that was you, Kim. You're trying the heart. Yay, that's really nice. Okay, it was so nice to see you all. Have a lovely, lovely day. I hope the sun does shine wherever you are and you feel a little solar powered as well. Otherwise, curl up, roaring fires, lots of knitting, and summer will come back for those of us down here. It definitely will come back. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, oh, I think my favorite season is autumn, and autumn is coming. So, you know, win some, win some. All right, everybody, catch you later. Do lots of knitting, and I'll see you soon. Bye.